Welcome to our channel, where coins tell incredible stories and small change can be worth a fortune. Some state quarters may seem ordinary, but a few are rare, sought after, and shockingly valuable. These coins aren't just collectibles, they're hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. Let's take a closer look at the ones turning heads in the collector world. It begins on a calm spring morning in 1790, when Maryland officially became part of the newly formed United States. A young state, full of promise, shaped by the sea, trade, and revolution. More than 2 centuries later, in the year 2000, Maryland's story would be told again, this time, in the palm of every American's hand. That year, the U.S. Mint unveiled the ambitious 50-state quarters program. 50 coins. 50 stories. Each quarter would represent one state's identity. On April 4th, the Maryland State Quarter was released, and from the moment it entered circulation, it stood out. Now imagine the design. On the reverse side of this modest coin, 2 sailing ships glide across the waters of the Chesapeake Bay. A lighthouse stands quietly in the background, steady and watchful. Beneath them rests a proud Latin phrase, Crescit et Melite, grow and prosper. Simple words with deep meaning. Surrounding this scene are the bold letters of Maryland, the year of statehood, 1788, and the release year, 2000. What was once just metal suddenly becomes a message, a memory, a moment in history. But this was more than just design. It was craftsmanship. Each detail, from the sails to the shoreline, was engraved with care. Every line told a story, of merchants, of sailors, of growth and resilience. The quarter captured Maryland's spirit not just through its symbols but through its precision. Coins were minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. Tens of millions entered daily circulation, while proof versions, those struck with extra care, were created with polished dies and mirrored fields. These proofs were never meant for pockets. They were meant to be admired, studied, protected. Collectors began to notice. The Maryland quarter had presence. From the symmetry of the ships to the bold clarity of the lighthouse, the design drew people in. Some began sorting their change, looking for a clean strike. Others sought proof sets, encased in velvet-lined holders or sealed in official mint packaging. And some, driven by curiosity, began chasing rarities, die varieties, small minting errors, or coins with extraordinary condition. There is a quiet thrill in the hunt. A coin roll unwrapped at the kitchen table. The click of quarters as they slide across a tray. Then, something different. A shine, a detail, a balance. Maybe a crisp reverse, no contact marks, almost untouched. You pause. You look closer. And you wonder. Many who collect aren't just after monetary value, they're after connection. Each coin carries history, from the design phase in a mint engraver's studio to its striking on a steel press. Some were carried in pockets, some stored in drawers, and a few, only a few, were preserved perfectly, never touched by time. And that's where the fascination deepens. Coins with flawless surfaces, perfect edges, and strong contrast are rare. Especially after decades. Grading services like PCGS and NGC examine these coins under magnification, grading them on scales from circulated to mint state to perfection. A top-graded coin isn't just clean, it's pristine. It's untouched by time, unblemished by circulation. But it's not just condition that captivates. It's story. It's the reason collectors speak about die cracks like hidden veins in marble. It's why a coin struck slightly off-center feels like an accidental masterpiece. Or why someone might search for a month just to find a quarter with the original mint luster intact. As the years passed, the Maryland quarter became a quiet legend in the collecting community. Not flashy. Not the rarest. But balanced. Elegant. Historically rich. It represented something deeper, a tribute not only to a state but to the art of coinage itself. Conventions, online forums, and collector circles often returned to this quarter. Some praised its maritime imagery. Others admired its clean layout. And some, holding one in hand, just felt the weight of something quietly remarkable. A coin small enough to be overlooked, but too beautiful to ignore. Now think of this, a quarter, only 24 millimeters wide, no heavier than 5 grams. Yet somehow it carries a ship, a lighthouse, a motto, a date, and a legacy. This is what numismatics is truly about. The stories pressed into metal. The value added not by inflation, but by intention. As time went on, collectors became more selective. Registry sets emerged, competitive catalogs of top-graded coins from private collections. High-end Maryland quarters, graded to perfection, began appearing in these sets. Few owners were willing to part with them. And fewer still had one in flawless, untouched condition. Auction houses took notice. At numismatic expos, under glass and bright lights, certain coins drew quiet crowds. Eyes narrowed, glints reflected off polished cases. Among them, the Maryland quarter, sharp, clean, silent, waited for its moment. And now, at the end of this journey, through design, craftsmanship, history, collectors, grading, and time, we arrive at the final, extraordinary moment. A single, perfect, PR70 deep cameo Maryland State Quarter from the year 2000, the very image of American minting mastery, was sold for an astonishing $59,000. Now moving to the next rare state quarter in today's video, we turn our focus to a coin that represents more than a state, it captures an idea, a landmark, and a legacy. This is the 2001 New York State Quarter. From the moment it was released, it stood out, not just for its visual design, but for the deep symbolism it carries. This quarter was the first released in the year 2001 and became the 11th coin in the 50 state quarters program. It came at a time when the U.S. Mint was hitting its stride with bold, thoughtful designs that gave each state a unique identity. But New York's quarter did something more, it told a national story through a state lens. Right at the center is the unmistakable outline of New York State. Overlapping it is the Statue of Liberty, holding her torch high, not just in welcome but in defiance, an enduring symbol of freedom. Behind her, a series of rays stretch outward across the coin, representing the many paths immigrants took as they made new lives in America. Above it all are the words, Gateway to Freedom. Few phrases hold as much meaning in so little space. From Ellis Island to the towering skyline of Manhattan, New York has always been seen as the front door of the American dream. For generations of people, it was the first place they saw after crossing oceans. And this coin, in its small form, preserves that emotion, that journey, and that promise. When it was released on January 2, 2001, millions of these quarters entered circulation. Minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, they made their way into pockets, jars, cash registers, and coin rolls across the country. But as with every release in the State Quarters series, the true gems were never meant for everyday use. Proof versions of this coin were struck with extraordinary care, polished dies, high-grade planchets, and multiple strikes to bring out every fine detail. The mirrored backgrounds and frosted raised elements gave the coin a sharp contrast and a refined look. These weren't just coins. They were miniature works of art, collectors knew it immediately. The design felt powerful, contemporary, emotionally resonant. And while most of these proof coins went into official mint sets, only a few remained in untouched, flawless condition. Now imagine being a collector, flipping through a tray of proof coins or opening a box of older change sets. You stop. There it is, the New York Quarter. The strike is perfect. No scratches. No haze. The fields are deep and glossy. Liberty's torch practically glows. You hold it under a light and know instantly, this is special. Grading services like PCGS and NGC began to see more of these coins, and only a handful received perfect scores. A PR70 deep cameo grade is not just about being good. It's about being absolutely flawless. No contact marks. No hairlines. Nothing to distract from the brilliance. It's like the coin came straight from the press and was frozen in time. But it's not just condition that makes this coin matter. Its context. This coin was released in 2001, a year that would change the nation and the world. Though the design was completed before September of that year, the coin quickly took on a new layer of meaning. The Statue of Liberty, once a general symbol of hope, became something more. A tribute to resilience. A reminder of unity. A quiet nod to all those affected by the events that would unfold later that year. Collectors began to see this coin differently. It wasn't just a state quarter anymore, it became a subtle but powerful memorial. A piece of silver-colored metal that somehow captured both pride and reflection. That emotional weight added to its desirability, especially in the numismatic world. Over the years, high-quality examples have become harder to find. The average circulated coin shows the usual wear, dull edges, light scratches, signs of time. But a top-tier proof, in untouched condition, carries a kind of quiet power. It's not just valuable, it feels important. Some of the finest examples sit in private collections, sealed in graded slabs, protected from time. A few are part of competitive registry sets, where collectors vie to complete the most perfect, most pristine group of coins. And others sit quietly in vaults, waiting for the right moment to re-emerge. What's fascinating is how this one coin, about the size of a quarter, can hold so much story. Its state pride, national history, artistic vision, and human emotion, all pressed into a single, shining piece of metal. And that's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about rarity. It's about what a coin means. What it represents. And how it connects to us, even decades later, and now, after exploring its history, symbolism, condition, and collector appeal, it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for. One flawless, PR70 Deep Cameo 2001 New York State Quarter, a coin preserved in perfect condition, struck with precision and pride, was sold at auction for an astonishing $55,000. Yes. A coin worth 25 cents, transformed by time, quality, and meaning into something truly extraordinary. So the next time you find yourself holding change in your hand, pause and look closely. Because hidden in plain sight might be a coin that tells a bigger story, and holds far more value than anyone ever imagined. Up next in today's lineup of rare and remarkable quarters, we head into the heart of Virginia, into rolling hills, misty valleys, and a place where nature speaks louder than words. This is the 2014 Shenandoah National Park Quarter, a coin that doesn't just celebrate a location, it captures an experience. Quiet. Majestic. Timeless. Part of the America the Beautiful series, this quarter was the second release of 2014 and the 22nd overall in the series. But for those who've ever set foot in Shenandoah, who've stood at the edge of Skyline Drive or looked out over miles of soft green ridges, this coin holds more than just metal. It holds a memory of something vast and peaceful. The reverse design takes us to that moment, high in the Blue Ridge Mountains. A hiker stands at the edge of a rocky overlook, gazing out across an endless expanse of ridgelines. The posture is calm, reflective. There's no hurry. Just the steady rhythm of wind, trees, and distance. Below the image, the name of the park, Shenandoah, and the year of issue, 2014. It's a scene many know well. Every year, millions visit Shenandoah for exactly this reason, to step away, to reset, to reconnect with something bigger than themselves. And this coin captures that sense of stillness in an incredibly powerful way. When the quarter was released, it entered circulation like all others. Struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, it made its way into cash drawers, soda machines, and pockets across the country. But as with so many modern coins, there were layers to this release, circulation strikes, collector versions, and proof editions that would turn a simple design into something truly extraordinary. Proof coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint, using carefully polished dies and treated blanks. The result? A quarter with deep mirrored fields and frosted designs. In the right light, it looks like the scene is floating. The hiker stands out against a glass-smooth background, as if time itself is paused. Collectors began to take notice, not just because of the coin's beauty, but because of its balance. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't over-designed. It was simple, clear, and timeless. And that restraint made it even more powerful. As these coins entered the market, people started sorting through rolls and mint sets. Some were after the design. Others were after perfection. And only a few would find it, those rare coins with no scratches, no blemishes, no imperfections at all. Grading services began to see more Shenandoah quarters submitted. Many came close to perfect. Few actually reached the top. A PR 70 deep cameo grade, flawless under magnification, became the target for serious collectors. These coins weren't just nice. They were exceptional. What made this coin even more appealing was its subtlety. It didn't lean on iconic buildings or historical events. It leaned on nature, on quiet power. And in a world that moves fast, a coin like this invites you to slow down, just for a moment. Each element of the design serves a purpose. The hiker isn't overly detailed, but they feel real. The rocks, the slope, the distant ridges, each one tells a story of movement, of effort, of reward. And while many quarters are full of motion, this one is full of pause. That's rare. Some collectors felt an immediate connection. Maybe they'd hiked that trail. Maybe they'd watched a sunset from that same spot. Holding the coin wasn't just about collecting, it was about remembering. And that emotional link made this quarter more than just another release in the series. Most people who encountered it never saw its potential. It passed through change jars and parking meters without a second thought. But in the hands of the right person, someone with an eye for detail, for condition, for what makes a coin truly valuable, this piece took on a different meaning. In time, a small number of Shenandoah quarters were certified at the highest levels. These coins, preserved with care and never exposed to wear, were sealed in airtight cases, their brilliance frozen in place. And like all things rare, they began to attract attention. Coin shows, online auctions, private collections, whispers started circulating about a few near-perfect examples, coins so sharp, so clean, that they seemed untouched by the minting process itself. Collectors knew what this meant: rarity, demand, and increasing value. What's fascinating about the Shenandoah quarter is that it never tries too hard. It doesn't need to. Its calm beauty speaks for itself. It's not just a tribute to a park, it's a reflection of why we protect these places in the first place. So we can return to them. So we can remember them. So we can carry them, even in something as small as a quarter. And now, after exploring its design, its meaning, and its rarity, we arrive at the final moment. One flawless example of the 2014 Shenandoah National Park Quarter, certified at the highest level, with mirrored fields and perfect surfaces, sold for an incredible $31,000. That's right. A coin worth 25 cents in the eyes of the world, but worth far, far more in the hands of a collector who sees its full story. So whether you're hiking the trails of Virginia or flipping through an old coin set, remember, sometimes the quietest coins have the loudest value. Moving to the last quarter, we focus on a coin that embodies one of the most poignant chapters in America's story, the 2017 Ellis Island quarter. Unlike coins that showcase scenic landscapes or national parks, this quarter tells a deeply human story, one of hope, courage, and the quest for a new life. It honors Ellis Island, the famous gateway through which millions of immigrants passed, forever changing the fabric of the United States. Ellis Island's story is a tapestry of dreams and determination. From 1892 to 1954, it served as the busiest immigration station in the nation, processing over 12 million hopeful newcomers who arrived by ship seeking freedom, opportunity, and a fresh start. Each person who walked through those doors carried a story of sacrifice, resilience, and the search for belonging. This coin pays tribute to those millions and the indelible mark they left on America's identity. The reverse design captures this history with remarkable detail and respect. At its center stands the iconic Ellis Island main building, rendered with precision to showcase its impressive red brick facade, majestic dome, and classical architectural style. The building symbolizes strength and shelter, an entry point for those stepping into the unknown. Surrounding the building, gentle waves represent the waters of New York Harbor, the vast ocean that immigrants crossed, sometimes enduring treacherous journeys, just to reach this shore. The coin's design invites you to imagine the anticipation, fear, and hope experienced by the millions as they gazed upon this very sight, the first glimpse of freedom. The inscriptions, Ellis Island, and Gateway to America, anchor the design, emphasizing the island's role not just as a physical location, but as a symbol of welcome, new beginnings, and the promise of the American dream. This quarter serves as a powerful reminder of the diversity that shapes the nation and the shared history that unites so many. When the United States Mint produced this quarter in 2017, millions were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints and released into circulation. For most, it was just another coin in their pocket, but for collectors and history enthusiasts, it was a small treasure with a big story. Special proof versions, struck at the San Francisco Mint, elevated the coin to an art form. These proofs feature a polished, mirror-like background contrasting with frosted design elements, making the architectural details and inscriptions stand out sharply. The proof Ellis Island quarters quickly became prized among collectors. Coins graded PR70 Deep Cameo, the highest possible grade, are incredibly rare. To achieve this, a coin must be flawless under magnification, with crisp details and a dazzling contrast between mirrored fields and frosted devices. Only a tiny fraction of all proof quarters earn this distinction. Collectors are drawn to the Ellis Island quarter not only for its rarity and beauty but because it tells a story that resonates deeply. It represents the spirit of immigrants who shaped America's past and continues to inspire future generations. Owning such a coin is like holding a piece of history, a tangible connection to millions who passed through Ellis Island's gates with hope in their hearts. Over time, the demand for these flawless proof coins has grown steadily. Serious collectors recognize that such coins are more than just currency, they are miniature monuments to America's cultural heritage. As a result, the value of the highest-grade Ellis Island quarters has soared. The minting process itself adds another layer of appreciation. Each proof quarter is struck multiple times with specially prepared dies, ensuring extraordinary sharpness and depth. This meticulous process guarantees that every brick, window, and wave on the Ellis Island quarter is captured with exceptional clarity and artistry. Moreover, the coin's relatively recent release means fewer surviving PR70 Deep Cameo specimens compared to older quarters, increasing scarcity and desirability. For collectors who understand these nuances, the Ellis Island quarter represents a rare opportunity. Now, after exploring the rich history, the stunning design, the expert minting, and the passionate collector demand, it's time for the most exciting part. Point 1 Flawless, certified PR70 Deep Cameo 2017 Ellis Island quarter recently sold for an astonishing $26,000. This remarkable price reveals how a coin that started as a simple piece of everyday currency has transformed into a prized collector's gem, valued not just for its metal, but for the powerful story it tells and the rarity it embodies. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more amazing stories and valuable coin discoveries. Be sure to like the video if you found it interesting, and share it with your fellow collectors or anyone who loves history and treasures. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below and let me know which coin story surprised you the most or if there's a particular coin you want me to cover next.